Hello and welcome, this is the British Muslim. You can find my Instagram link in the description below. So, Islam and tattoos. What are we saying? What is God saying? So, in mainstream Islam, there are quite a few hadiths which directly state that tattoos are not allowed and they're forbidden by God. However, what we do know is that God states in the Quran that the Quran is perfect, that it is complete, that it is the only hadith we should follow. It literally says in the Quran, what other hadith would you follow aside from this one, aside from the revelation, the Quran? And I've made videos on this and you can watch that if you are interested. However, we know that the Quran should be used as our only source of religious guidance. So therefore, what does the Quran say about tattoos? Now, it doesn't actually state tattoos at all. It doesn't comment on them directly. So there are a few verses which we may apply to tattoos and other dress codes and accessories and things like this. So we'll begin by kind of going through a few verses, interpreting them, relating them to tattoos. But I have to stress, please do your own research on this. The Quran clearly states that a seeker of knowledge, someone who really thinks, someone who tries to find knowledge and truth, is a good thing. To be that kind of Muslim, to be that person who seeks for knowledge, to really find their own mind and way of thinking. So you can use this video as a starting point if you wish. So let's begin. If we go to Surah 24 verse 30, it says that men and women should cast down their glances and guard their private parts. This is better for them. So obviously that is very simply talking about how we observe other people and how we should behave towards other people as well. In reference to women, it states that they should not display their beauty except for what is apparent, and they should cover their bosoms. Now this verse doesn't say anything about the conventional hijab, the head covering. The head covering actually predates Islam, all the way back to pre-Islamic Arabia. It was simply something to wear, a piece of clothing which has been mistranslated supposedly into the Quran. I have a separate video on this. If you're interested, please watch that. So as we can see, this is very simply about how a woman should dress, how a woman and man should interact with other people, but nothing we can really relate to tattoos so far. So if we go to Surah 8 verse 47, we can interpret from this verse that God does not like show-offs and obnoxious people. It states, do not be like those who left their homes grudgingly only to show off and in fact discourage others from following the path of God. God is fully aware of everything they do. Furthermore, this is supported by Surah 31 verse 18, in which it says, you shall not treat the people with arrogance, nor shall you roam the earth proudly. God does not like the arrogant show-offs. So this again is something we can actually relate to tattoos now. This can be related to many things. For example, say you were to work out in the gym and you really love your physique and you wear the tightest tops or you wear the tank tops. That for you may be showing off. However, for someone who simply relies on donations of clothes because they don't have much money and they get a tight t-shirt they're wearing, that is not them showing off. That is simply them living how they can with the money they have. So we can see that a lot of these verses are going to be dependent on the person and what they know is true to them. So therefore we can also apply this to tattoos. So if you have a tattoo, for example, that has money signs on it, or it literally says something very arrogant, of course that is not supported by the Quran. God says this is not what you should do, this is not what God supports. However, maybe a tattoo, for example, something I write around on pieces of paper and places to remind myself, is very simply a hashtag or a symbol for numbers. And this just reminds me that life is a numbers game, and if I fail at something, I very simply need to try more. I need to keep on going, find better ways to do it, but keep trying, because the more times you do something, the more likely you are to get success out of it. So that would not be, for example, showing off, whether it be in a tattoo or a symbol on a t-shirt or a jumper. So let's continue. We can go to Surah 95 verse 4, in which it says, "We have indeed created humankind in the best of molds." Additionally, we can go to Surah 27 verse 88, in which it says, "The work of Allah, who has perfected everything He created." And again, Surah 32 verse 7, He is the one who has made perfectly everything He created. And you can read on from there. So we have quite a few verses here stating that God has created us perfectly, and that getting a tattoo is, of course, changing this perfect creation, maybe in vain of God. So this, again, is very simply, I think we can put this down to someone's individual interpretation and how you may see what this verse means. So I'm not saying this as, oh, we can interpret this however we like, therefore we can get tattoos. No, that's not what I mean. What I'm saying is, God has created us perfectly. So therefore, what does that mean? Does that mean we simply should allow our hair to grow? If we allow our hair to grow and we don't comb our hair, it will form dreadlocks. That's the natural way hair will, it will knot up and form dreadlocks. So therefore, is that the perfect nature of human beings' hair, that we should never comb or cut our hair because, dreadlocks are the perfect form of hair that God has created?